What's up everybody and welcome to Apocalypse Gaming. Today we're going to talk about Ceroli Crisis. Hey, just wait, I know lots of people in the community do not like this event, but I really believe if you hang out with me and watch this video, I'm going to tell you the basics about Ceroli, which is going to make you a lot of a better player going forward and you will never have problems with Ceroli anymore. You know what time it is? That's right, boom boom time. Hey guys, the first thing we're going to talk about is you must go and read the skills of the Ceroli. Every time the Ceroli comes, these skills change. Let's make the story short. This week we have Back to the Wall, which is once the enemy troop or the boss or whatever you're attacking goes to 30%, they get a shield worth of 10 million. So pretty much you cannot attack them for 6 seconds. It lasts for 6 seconds. So for these 6 seconds, you cannot attack or deal damage for them once they hit 30%. And the second one, which is everybody hates, includes me, is Poison the Earth, which is also pretty much, long story short, is once you kill an enemy troop, they create like a pool where they died. It's like a pretty decent sized circle, and any enemy troop walk or be inside that circle will gain 1% health, and it lasts for 8 seconds. So they heal quite a substantial amount of health, and they also deal damage factor 200. And trust me guys, this 200, if you kill a couple of Lahars in the same place, it gets doubled and stacked, so it's pretty tough. Anyway, let's jump into the tips that I have for you in this video. In the Ceroli Crisis, we have 3 role features: tank, DPS, and support. We're gonna look at each individual role, and I'm gonna recommend to you the best skills that I see are the best, and for sure they are boom boom guaranteed. First thing is the tank. Lots of people in the Rise of Kingdom community choose tank because they think they are weak and they can do better with tank to last a lot longer or survive for a longer time in the Ceroli Crisis event. But I want to tell you something. You should choose what's better for your team, and we're gonna discover that throughout this video. For tank, I'm going to recommend for you, for primary skill, we have 2. We have tuned and we have high morale. Both of them are quite great and they have different usage. It depends on the boss you are doing. For example, if I'm doing Icon Hulk, I will definitely go with tuned. If I'm doing Kira, I will definitely use tuned. But if I'm doing Freda or I'm doing Dikar, I would use high morale, because tuned is pretty much, it gives you the opportunity to control the Ceroli Crisis event. You can control who attacks you, and you can tank whatever you choose to tank. And if we look at high morales, it's pretty good. It gives you 50% health, and at the same time 20% extra healing, and it gives you 10% instant healing for your troops, which is pretty good. The second one, which is really important, which is the secondary skill. And I noticed secondary skill is always one of the best available for each feature, or for each role featured. I can recommend 2 things. First of all, lots of people go for divine healing, but I have a serious issue with it, and I know we're gonna have an argument here. But I personally cannot look away from Shatter Armor. It's one of the greatest debuff in the Ceroli Crisis. Why? It reduced the target defense by 20% for 30 seconds and can stack up to 3 times, which means in 60 seconds we can stack up to 3. And if we have 2 tanks within 20 seconds from starting the skill, you can get it stacked up to 3 if you have 2 tanks with Shatter Armor. And it reduces the defense of the enemy troops by 20%, and once you multiply it by 3, it turns to 60%. So this one is definitely boom boom guaranteed, and we can argue in the comment section. And when we go look at the third one, I always like to take survival, which is the emergency healing, in case I do a mistake. No one is perfect, we all do mistakes. So in case I do slip off or do a small mistake, I can recover 5% of my troop strength, which is really, I believe, boom boom guaranteed. The second role we have is the DPS, baby. And the DPS, I'm going to recommend my favorite 3 skills, which I recommend you choose going into any Ceroli Crisis. The first one is Savage Attack. I like buffing and debuffing in Ceroli, and I find that very effective. Why we're going to choose Savage Attack? Because for the next 10 seconds, your troops' basic attack will increase the target damage received by 1% for 10 seconds and stacks up to 25 times. So that 1% times 25 makes it 25% increased attack for 10 seconds, which I think is absolutely boom boom, and the cooldown is only 25 seconds. But as all the other skills, the secondary skill is one of the most important skill, like I mentioned in the tank. And here we cannot look away from weakness, and weakness is really boom boom guaranteed. Reduce a target troops defense by 20% defense and 20% health for 30 seconds, and only cooldown of 20, and it only costs 2 energy. It's really highly effective in Ceroli. And if we stack it with the tank, 60% debuff on defense makes the total debuff of 80% on defense and 20% health, which makes the boss or the enemy troop really weak. And when we look at the third generic skill, as I always say, emergency healing is perfect because it's, you know, like something safe. In case, like I mentioned before, you do a mistake or you slip off or something happen, you can recover 5% of your troop strength, which is really great. And the third role is the support role. Lots of people play this role as if they are the healer of the world, but I personally would like to introduce you to a different way of playing this role. And trust me, it's a highly effective way in defeating the bosses of Ceroli in a very short time. The first skill, without even thinking about it, you cannot look away from Blood Drinker. Why? It increases all, and put 50 lines under all allied troops damage by 30% for 30 seconds, and it's really amazing. Once you pop it, once everybody attack and you pop it, you all dealing 30% extra damage for 30 seconds. The only thing about it, you cannot get that buff again until cooldown of 3 minutes. You must remember that. The second one we're going to look at, which is absolutely great, is the Toxicity. It's really effective. It deals additional damage to target for every second for 10 seconds. Damage factor 300 per second. 300 times 10 equals 3000, and the cooldown is 20. So you're dealing all the damage you need all the time, because after 3 minutes of waiting to pop the first skill, you're gonna have a lot of time to keep dropping this skill again and again and again and again. Lots of people like to take the Dazzling Lane, but I really don't think you need to be a healer for everybody. I think the last skill always gives everybody a safe place where it comes to healing. Everybody has their own healing. So I highly recommend to go with this set of skills. And again, for the last one, we're going to choose the healing one because, as I always mention, it is a safe place to play. And if you did a mistake or a slip off, it's always available to pick you up where you did not do great. And the last thing we're going to cover in this video is the lineup. I recommend 2 tank, 2 DPS, and 1 support. And if you use the skills that I recommended to you, you will find that the support will bring 30% attack to all allied troops for 30 seconds, plus the 2 tanks gonna be able to get the Shatter Armor up to 60% debuff on defense within 40 seconds, and that the DPS will be able to make the debuff on the defense up to 80% and will give us extra debuff on health by 20%, which is gonna make you really stronger and gonna make you be able to finish the Ceroli in a way shorter time without any hassle and frustration. And this is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope I will help you going forward not to find Ceroli Crisis as a frustrating event. Remember the steps I told you, remember the skills that you should use, and again, don't forget to let me know in the comments if you prefer a different combo and let me know why. Otherwise, I really appreciate you watching this video, and as we always do, come closer, boom, boom, baby, let's go, and I will see you next time. See ya!